Okay, so we just Ubered the desert again, and we're here at Iron Addicts. So, Iron Addicts gym. Oh shit! Is this? Dude, is this CT Fletcher's gym? Dude, I think we've like legit come to CT Flet. Please use the other door. What other door?
This is a weird place for a gym to be.
What other door?
It's fucking dark in here. No, look, maybe they're doing construction. Look at this wire.
So, please use other door. Ah.
You took enough pre-workout to feed an entire army, so you should totally have this.
Are you doing 315 on bench?
I'm gonna try it.
What are you working?
Whoa.
What are you going?
He can't say he's gonna try. You
I'm
said
gonna get it,
man.
His hips mess up this, and I said, yeah, man, we'll make you squat tomorrow. We'll make you use some decent weight. He's like, down. It wasn't like, I don't know. I don't know if my hip's gonna meet. Like, you know. Alright, there you go.
I did that.
Okay.
I mean 215. We have the pleasure of training with Omar. It literally is, because I mean he's in Canada most of the time.
Yeah, man.
With obviously just doing reduced exos and stuff like that, but we don't get as much kind of chance to clash and cross paths. So this is real lucky, and he's taking the time out of his own day to help us. So this is really unique, guys. You won't see, especially me being a UK guy, I doubt you'll see Omar on any other kind of UK channel. So we'll take advantage of this,
Bro,
information wise.
Here have got to stick together.
Yeah, that's the one.
You got the GQ look.
And I was just saying something, but maybe Omar takes a trip to UK to come stay with me and eat eggs and shit.
I've heard that. I've actually been totally down.
Yeah,
Been talking about that. Yeah.
So what a happy accident. The other day we might have messed up getting to the gym, but check this place out. This is a serious lifters gym. This is one of CT Fletcher's gyms, and check out, look at the deadlift things they've got. I've never seen anything like this in the UK. Look, that is so awesome. Man, I wish we had this stuff in the UK. Just coming in and seeing that look gives me goosebumps, man. I would be so down for deadlifting more often if we had this kind of atmosphere and stuff going on. They got all the boards up of what everyone's done on their weights. That's so sick. I can't appreciate how much Omar is taking time out of his day, because he's spending time here with Jasmine as well, and taking the time out of his own day to come and help me and David just with mobility and work and get better at our own lifting. It is an absolute pleasure. And this is what this community is all about, man. When you see us come together and do these videos and stuff like that, it's because we legitimately give a fuck about each other. That's what's great, and let's never fucking lose that for the sake of commercialism or any other bullshit. Like, you know when you watch people who's real and who's not, and I like that fact. I like the fact that you can see that in people. So this is a great community, man. Great community. Shit like this makes me really happy.
Well, you'll notice.
So straight into this, I had the pleasure of working with Omar ISUF on helping me with my squat, and here we were looking at dorsiflexion, and that is the ability to bring your foot up towards your shin, and is a massive part of ankle mobility during the squat. Here we were looking at a forced stretch to help implement more movement in the ankle area for those people that lack dorsiflexion, and it's simply by putting a barbell across your knees, keeping your chest nice and high and sitting back, allowing the weight to forcibly press down. This is the first time I'd done this stretch, and it did feel crazily uncomfortable, and it was good having something to hold in front of me just to set myself. Once in the position, the trick is to try and keep your chest up and not let it round, and then really let the weight sink down into your heels and try to not rock forward onto your toes. Then taking a quick look at Omar's stance here, you can see he has good dorsal flexion, his knees are further forward than his feet, his hips are sitting nice and close to the heels, his hamstrings actually touching his calves without having his butt curl under, which is known as butt wink, and his chest is able to stay nice and upright. Whereas in comparison, when you watch when I go down, you can see that there's a limited kind of range of depth that I can get to. And this is a result of tight hip flexors and the inability for my knees to move forward with the dorsiflexion required. And what that does is it limits my ability to get deep without my hips having to be loaded backwards. And that's what we're trying to improve here. So you can see going into the stretch, it's relatively awkward for me to get down, but once sat in position, I'm literally just pinned there. What we're going to look at now is an issue that I also suffer from, and that is from the right side. And this is a compensation issue, and this is the collapsing of the right ankle. And what that means is the right ankle is rolling inward, that Omar's pointing out here. This is a result of the left-hand side being compensated for, as it is weak and hasn't been worked properly due to the accident and the glute not firing. So the stabilization was being compensated for by the right-hand side of the body, giving me knee pain. So moving on from there, we can look at some actual mobility work that you can utilize, which is a dynamic mobility work, which will help increase that dorsal flexion. This can be done in and outside of the gym just using a wall, and that is simply to make sure you put your back foot facing straight, heels in line, feet side by side, not one behind the other. And then what you're going to do is put all your weight onto your front foot, and you're going to just push that knee towards the wall, then bring it back to a straight leg, and then again drive forwards towards the wall. This is going to help release the hip flexors on the opposite side and increase the dorsiflexion on the side being worked each time. Doing around about 10 to 15 reps, making sure you're holding at each point and not allowing that back foot to come out of alignment. Do around about 3 rotations on each side, and you want to try and do this every single day if possible.
The bottom of the fascia, so you have your plantar right here, like you have the bottom of your foot, this shit can get tight. This can inhibit your ankle mobility. So if this feels painful when you step on it, odds are the fascia there is tight.
Right. Stand on there.
Yep. Extend, so squeeze your feet out, like good, and roll back and forth on it, applying a lot of body weight pressure on your right side. And just try and find if you see a spot. If you don't, honestly, if you don't feel a spot, that's completely fine. We're just going through a checklist of potential things.
So plantar flexion is your ability to point your foot downward, and this can often reduce ankle mobility if you have a tight fascia on the underside of the foot. So you can roll that out using a baseball as we did here, or you could essentially use a PVC pipe or anything that's just going to allow you to work into the fascia and find any sticking points or painful areas under the foot. And it's just a matter of working them out if you do find them.
Here, okay. I want you to go above it, meaty part, get right into your hip flexor, actually where it really starts. Wiggle around, so first just stay there, and what I want you to do is breathe in and breathe out, looking straight down. Just breathe in and breathe out onto that area, so really expand with your diaphragm, like right onto there. After about 10 seconds, you should get an indication if that area is tight. If it's not, move it around a little bit. You should, with a baseball, most people will find a bit of tightness on, one location somewhere around there. So if you don't quite feel it there, move it around a little bit. So that's actually that contributes to the hip flexor being tight. We're gonna do some also basic but fundamental things that are important. Like a plank, which I'm sure you do on a regular basis maybe, but a plank is really good for also unlocking hip flexors. Just because what happens is that when your back feels tight, when things aren't firing, it essentially kind of locks your hips into place. So even basic things, a side plank is good for internal hip rotation, which is the bottom of the squat. Normal plank is good for just your hip flexors, which is just your squat in general. So there's a whole bunch of little things that we can kind of tweak. So let's relax that one. Let's hold now. I want a basic thing, is I want the plank position, Lex, except I want you squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads, breathe in with your stomach, expand really, just in and out for about a minute. Just to loosen up a little bit, you've been in calves, beat your chin just past your hands a little bit. Good.
I'll bring my hands down.
Yeah. And then make sure here, core tight, so tuck your butt basically in.
So chin past, core tight.
Yeah, cool. There you go, good. Yeah. So breathe, and now from here with the core tight, breathe right into that belly, like all in. Try and expand it when you breathe, like in the back as well. So you're breathing into the stomach, into the back, all the way over. So these are essentially just bracing patterns, but bracing patterns are important because they indicate to your body.
Oh, yeah. I definitely wasn't bracing when I used to squat years ago. At all, I wasn't. I was just kind of holding my stomach in, but not bracing against anything.
No, bracing is everything, my man. So we're gonna do all these things. We're gonna put on some shoes to see how it feels after we do that, and then we'll go from there. Okay, Lex.
So could I do this every morning?
Oh yeah, I'll prescribe you afterwards. Just want to get back on Sunday or Monday, like a routine to try and help with the hip mobility. I have no doubt it'll have a huge difference.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One thing I want you to try right now, dude, is just throw on those squat shoes. Just try those shoes on. Let me see.
So I've never used squat shoes before, and OMAR thinks because what's happening is I have a lack of flexion, dorsal flexion here. These actually alleviate the issue of people with a lack of flexion in the ankle. If you have a lack of flexion in the ankle, that causes your hips to have to go further back, which kind of puts a lot of pressure on the flexors and that whole hip joint, and causes it to kind of jam up the hips. So by increasing or alleviating the lack of dorsal flexion, it allows the hips to not move back as far and drop down like they should do. So if you want to really improve your squat, everybody I've met has said, get a pair of good squatting shoes. So I got the squat shoes on and just did a few with Omar, and it feels and looks way better. And now he's gonna have me roll out with what is essentially a PVC pipe on my IT band here. What's the issue with the IT band?
So the idea behind the IT band, if you're experiencing a little bit of knee pain, what's probably happening is pulling the knee inside, so it's tracking inside, which helps shut off your glute essentially, and that can all kind of come together, because you said glute's not firing, you get some inside pain, and then also when you try and squat, you get some knee pain. So I think those are all related, coupled with the fact that we have a little bit of dorsiflexion limitation, so we use some weightlifting shoes to decrease the demands there, and everything should kind of sync up nice. The painful part, the worst part, you're gonna get on that, that's gonna suck, but you gotta do it.
It's gonna suck so bad. It's gonna suck so bad. I've done this with normal foam and that hurt. Like, I stopped.
Witness me.
This is it. Witness the pain.
And put your foot up here. Yeah, and then push off a little bit while still applying pressure onto that hip and pull all the way. Yeah.
So the IT band runs from the knee all the way up the side of the leg, and it is often responsible for a lot of the issues that people find during squats, because it is one of those areas that tightens up and often isn't stretched or worked out properly. This was a trial by fire kind of routine here. A PVC pipe is probably the most painful way to do this. So if you can get yourself a foam roller, it will hurt, but it will be able to be comfortably done every day. And if you can get into the habit of rolling out your IT band on a regular basis, every single movement that you do will honestly feel so much better.
I think I have girl hips.
You're fine, dude.
You're fine,
You're
bitch.
fine. You're fine. Good. I gotta give you credit. There's a lot of people try and rush it. You do a good job of going slow.
Motherfucker. Fuck you. Fuck you. So that's done the big central line, and I'm going to work slightly upper and slightly lower.
Feel the middle of my back. Middle up of my back.
He sounds so nice.
It sounds
He says
fun.
it so nicely.
Sounds like a great time.
Shit fucking. Okay, what's
Oh, the IT band, bro, was no joke.
Yeah.
So this guy right here, get a basically side of the ass cheek, find like a trigger point that feels tight, and then just roll right on.
I'll go with this one. So you saw this one when I did the ball on the shoulder before. Same principle. I'm gonna do it on my fucked up glute. Again, $10 ball. It's so painful. So my pain really is like deep here. Sit it on. How long should I sit on it in the pot in the spot?
Basically, the trigger point that you feel the pain is released. But check this out, Lex. I actually want to increase the tension just for you to really find that trigger point. So actually, right now, I want you to cross this leg on top of that leg.
Oh, you son of a...
It's because I love you, bro. And watch this. Good. And then watch. Hold on. Rotate this down, put pressure, and then find that trigger point. Yeah. And you can push with your hand down onto it. And really just roll. You'll find that point that's the worst, and then boop, push
Find
down.
it, sit it on, and then push.
Yeah. And then hold it on for a minute.
2, 3, for a minute?
I mean, as long as it takes. So what we like to do, we like to evaluate pain out of 10.
Yeah.
So like if it's like a 9 or 10, whatever the hell it is, you sit on it until it's like, you know, maybe a 7.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
well maybe like it's where it's like, yeah, it feels like pretty good, and then you can start moving it around. 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle. From here, you're gonna put a little bit of pressure of something, so you're gonna squeeze like here, just a foam roller, and you're gonna tilt your glute up, and from here you're gonna breathe all the way into your diaphragm.
Like expand the stomach.
Expand huge, and then forcefully exhale, all the while your knees are squeezing inside, butt is turned up and in, so you curl your butt. So first, down here, curl your butt up, breathe in, squeeze here, and just relax, expand, expand, expand.
So your butt's actually off the floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We're looking for tilt, hips up, squeeze the knees real hard, and now I'm going to breathe, blow out, breathe in, here, see my ass is off, blow back on. Breathing in is where you're going to want to release your knees and don't. Shout out to Guns N' Roses coming on. Woohoo!
So after doing a lot of this work, we took another look at the squat, and you'll see here, as I don't get so attentive, I rotate out, and you can see a real nice difference in postural change. You see how my hips are much closer towards my heels, my chest is up,
Good.
and I'm coming to a nice depth with the knees going out and slightly further towards the toes. Real progression in such a short time, but the more I do this work and the more that I stick with it, the more I'm consistent, the better I will become, and the more naturally my body will fall into the correct position. At the moment, I'm suffering from super tight hip flexors, a tight groin, groin, and also left hand side glute that wasn't firing when it should, which was causing an overload. That overload created a lot of pain during movements and actually stopped them doing them, and it was simply because it wasn't being activated. Now that I've learned to activate the glute, it's a whole world of difference. So we're going to take a look through at sets that I did here. I did up to 10 sets whilst doing this. I kept the weight nice and light. I only did 22 aside, I think it is kilos, 45 pounds in America. And you'll see as the sets go on, I hadn't warmed up. This was a time pressure situation, so although we'd warmed up all the trigger areas, I hadn't done my normal warm-ups because we were really struggling for time, and as a result my groin was still pretty tight. So in between the sets I was doing these leg swings, which are brilliant. I do these either side. I do 15 to 30 reps. I do each side about 3 times, and then I move back in. What I'm doing here is concentrating on rolling these out and letting the body get down into the position. Don't try and drop in too fast and too quickly. Don't try and over egg the situation. Allow your body to move in set by set, rep by rep. You'll slowly get deeper and deeper and better, as you will see going from here. But from there straight away you can see there was a lot less butt wink, there was nice stability, there was no buckling of the knees, and my right ankle was not collapsing at all. Here you'll see by set 6 I'm quite nice and warmed up, my groin's loosened off, I've stretched between every set, and I commit a little bit more to the movement. My confidence is growing. You can see my hips are getting deeper, the knees are moving forward and out, and I'm getting very little butt wink, which is usually caused by something on the back end of the leg that's not allowed to extend properly or is really tight. So you want to work out and make sure that hamstrings are nice and loose, groin's nice and loose, hip flexors are working, glutes are firing. These are all things to be considering if you feel like there's something wrong with your movement. Looking here at the 8th set, you're going to see me lose concentration on the rotating out with the knees, and that's going to cause that same habit. You see the butt wink there occur. Now you'll see after another rep I try and correct it again. Very bad butt wink. Watch me stop and correct on the rep after this. It gets a little bit better with stabilization, but here I reposition my feet, I turn my heels out. More importantly, I engage the glutes, I pull down on the bar, and I keep my chest higher. I think I was allowing my chest to dip a bit, and now you'll see I go down, get the same depth, but not that same butt wink. So as you can see, if you lose concentration for even a second, the body will go back to bad habits. So make sure that you're focusing all the time on everything you've learned.
That is fucking incredible. I can feel my hips not going backwards. I can feel that I'm sitting down nice and deep. There's no pain in my knees. There's no pain in my hips. I can feel my glutes firing. Obviously it's a very light weight, but that's what you got to do. You got to start back at the fucking ground and build up. That feels fantastic. That shit gets me excited. I've only got 20 inside on the bar and I'm fucking excited. Because progression is progression. And this journey is about yourself and about you. Doesn't matter what the people are doing next year. Doesn't matter what the other people are achieving next year. What matters is what you're achieving, how you're progressing, and how you correct your faults. Acknowledge your faults and correct them. And obviously, getting that help from somebody that knows more than you. Don't have this ego. Always assume you know nothing. And learn. Education and time and consistency. They will always make you better than the person that is ego-driven and refuses to take help. Wow.
So what David needs to do, actually, David, pop your chest open and then rotate. Yeah, do you feel now that? Do you feel that stretch? Do you feel more of a stretch? Yeah. Yeah, so like pec minor right here, kind of a pec minor can internally rotate the shoulder. So when you bench, you can't open up. You can't use your triceps, like kind of your lats to stabilize. It just shuts off a lot of things. Palm is supposed to be open, palm up, chest up, and then lead and turn away. He's sweating, I love it. Arm straight, retract, chest up, good, relax. There you go, retract. Way better, now you're getting it. You feel that? That's what you gotta do on the bench press. Go down, good.
So it's a scapular retraction.
Yeah, so it's reinforcing it so when you bench press you stay tight. So David actually on the first set wasn't really feeling it, but this is looking a lot better. And one more. Good and relax.
So you do retraction, full pull.
Exactly, yeah. So the idea is you're learning about that proper retraction and then you pull it all the way down. Like you're almost...
As if you're pulling the bench down to explode out on when you're using the
like you're an
using a lat pull down to improve your bench. This is all the shit that we all need to be doing that we don't.
With total body tension, you want to squeeze the bar as hard as possible. So you're crushing it, and essentially makes your whole body tight. So it allows you to transfer force. Because you got basically the bar in your hands, well, what's doing the work? The muscles, your pec, your tricep, and your deltoid. So your hand helps transfer all that force here through to your hand into the bar. So if it's loose, think about it, it'll be like all wobbly. Like it's just like your legs. If they're not tight, you're not transferring that force. So tight hands, tight back, boom, leg drive.
Why do you put David's legs a little bit wider and back?
Yeah, so he was complaining of lower back pain when he was doing the bench press, and that's because he's arching too much of his lower lumbar by having his feet back. It's not that feet back is a problem, it's just how he's benching, so we're trying wider, squeeze the glutes so his hips don't lift off the bench.
Nice.
Oh, was it chop off?
No. Explode off the chest. Use your legs. 2, 1, up. Out. Tight.
Yep.
Nice, yeah. So you had that sticking point and we saw that. You were able to blast through that though. That was good. That was good.
We were very optimistic saying Dave's going to do 350 today. Chances of that happening were very low. This is a time pressure situation. We've not trained, we've not slept, we've not eaten properly. What we're taking away from today is the technique that Omar's given us, the rehab that he's given us, and when that's translated to a well-fed, well-rested, well-trained body, we will be making all types of gains.
It's recording, so.
What's cracking, guys? Omar ISUF here with my main man Lex.
With a working microphone this time.
Oh, the microphone is 110% on. In fact, David, can you confirm that there is a green light on that microphone?
Looks pretty green to me.
Looks pretty good. Then we're good to go. And so we were talking a little bit. We're talking about lifting, and like you do a lot of MMA, bodybuilding. You do like a high volume approach. But then you told me recently actually about a car accident that you had, an accident, and then something happened essentially where now you can't squat. And so today we try to troubleshoot that, allow you to get back to squatting, you know, lifting, get some leg hypertrophy. Just talk me through what happened, man.
Yeah. So what happened was a couple of years ago, I hit in a car, total write-off. Car went through the right hand side of me from the side impact, took out my left shoulder, left glute, so it damaged my glute med, it caused impingement on the shoulder due to the impact, obviously damaging some of the rotator cuff. And obviously I got the standard rehab work, but like I said, the first thing I came to you, I've been given all these things to do, they're not working, they're not helping, because everyone's just not, they're not sport specific enough.
Sure.
And you know, huge props to Omar. He literally gave up workout time to come here and help myself and David just to improve on our abilities, which we couldn't do ourselves. So whenever you're in this process of trying to fix yourself, surround yourself with people who know more than you and listen to them, because understanding something and then knowing how to implement it is two completely different ball games. So thank you very much for taking the time to do this. It's a huge pleasure.
Man, anytime. I could say you're a really quick learner. Actually, when we moved on to David for his technique, you're picking up things really fast and like figuring out things that made sense. So let's talk through just kind of the glute med. As you said before, I can actually understand that frustration when you're trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with you, and like nothing is really like working, right? So for you, what were the things that we kind of figured out then?
So we found that I was getting pain through the top third of the lift when the glutes are supposed to be engaged, and that was in deadlifts and squats. I was getting real tight left groin and hip flexors, and pain mainly in my right knee. And so that all we decided was all sensible for what I was feeling.
So we have an overcompensation that's occurring. So the first thing is that with Lex, actually when it comes to ankle dorsiflexion, so basically how far forward his knees can travel in the squat, that was limited, and so he has to make up that mobility elsewhere. So what would happen, he would load his hips, shoot really far back, kind of not impinge them, but load them up, jam them, the hips. And so this glute med's not firing, which then kind of creates pain at the front here along the hip flexor, and then the right side overcompensates, so his right knee would always bother him. And this is like, and the cool part is that it all made sense. And so what we did, we opened up a little bit more ankle mobility. We took a look with weightlifting shoes to see how his squat changed.
So much better.
Yeah, and it made a big difference. And you're a prime candidate, because as we saw, like ankle mobility not there. We want heels kind of close to the hips, upright position, so we could just once again, you know, engage the glutes.
So the moment like we increased the dorsal flexion of the foot, is it dorsal flexion?
Yeah, dorsal flexion.
That huge difference, But the rotation, I wasn't doing any of the outward rotation.
Sure,
which was a huge thing, which was causing that collapse on the inside.
Yeah, man.
So that was the biggest thing for me today. There was the dorsal flexion and the rotating outward onto the outside of the foot, the heels, and turning the knees out, and then engaging the glutes before going down. So prior to this, I was setting the bar, I was pulling on the bar, engaging my glutes and bracing my core, but I wasn't doing any of the rotation, and obviously I wasn't getting the dorsal flexion, so I was loading backwards instead of down. I said before, I felt ratcheted on the way down.
Like you feel like levels.
Like there was different points and levels, like it was destabilizing, straight down, exploding back up. Really nice, amazing. Like honestly, it's so fucking happy. It's unbelievable. If you imagine 2 years of frustrations and anger, going to physios, being told do this silly this stretch, and it just doesn't, because they don't understand when you go to normal physio, they don't understand you're a weightlifter.
You nailed it. Like, you picked up everything really, really fast. We're able to pinpoint it, and it's just all about, from this point forward, kind of consistency with some of those things. You get nagging issues that build up over time, right, as a result of either an accident, an injury, whatever, and then it's all about trying to figure it out. So for you, we increased the ankle dorsiflexion. We worked on externally rotating the hips, opening up the glutes to fire the IT band. Yeah, because that just, when the IT band's tight, it kind of rotates the knee inside, and then that just puts pressure on the knee, which is no good. So like a few things at once that we just picked all up together, and like I said, it came together real nice. And now, dude, I expect you to be squatting 500 pounds.
Dude, well, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna going under the other wing. This side.
The other wing. We got David's on the right side.
Nestle in here, and I'm gonna follow his programming exactly what he says, and I'm gonna track exactly what happens. I'll show you guys, obviously, on mine, how I improve, and I'll be relating back to Omar on this, relaying all the time. And fingers crossed, man, you'll see a bodybuilder kind of / athlete, you know, go into more of like that powerlifting mindset of learning the actual compound movements. So as bad as like bodybuilding can be, being isolatory, the fact that you can connect mind to muscle so well from the bodybuilding side is a positive. So it's not all this negative bodybuilding, this and that. They can cross over so well, and it's that matter of adapting how you want to train to your body and the techniques.
There, you know, if you like the video, make sure to like the damn video. Also,
like the damn video. So also, all you UK guys that watch Omar, if you want to see Omar in the UK, bug him about coming to stay, because there is a guest room waiting for him, and if he comes over, 1000% we will arrange something where you guys can come and meet and talk to Omar. You can do a session or something, because we don't have this in the UK. So I just feel it'd be such a big, amazing thing to put on for you guys. So the more we can do for you, I will try my best, guys. I'll try my best. Thank you.
Fucking hell, bro. Awesome, man.